Hey everyone, just wanted to jump on here quick as I'm getting a bunch of questions on the CARES Act, and there's a lot of information in this bill, but I wanted to point out 5 items I think everybody should know as an individual that is inside this act. So what the CARES Act is the Coronavirus Aid, Relief, and Economic Security Act. This is the $2 trillion emergency fiscal stimulus package that the Congress and the President signed into law to help ease the damaging effects that the coronavirus has obviously had on the economy. Now, like I said, there's a bunch of information in this bill. It's over 900 pages, but there's a few things that pretty much everybody might be dealing with here. So the first most important item is these recovery rebate checks. This has the most people talking, and it's been on the news a lot, and people are just wondering if they're really going to get a check from the government or not. And the answer to that is simply yes for most people, but there are some qualifications to that. So let's first talk about the amounts. But the max amount a married couple receive, so if you're filing joint on your tax returns, the max you will get is $2,400. For everyone else, the max you'll receive is $1,200. If you have kids that are under the age of 17, you'll get an extra $500 for each kid. So what are the qualifications to get these payments? So the qualifications are based on your adjusted gross income, so your AGI from your most recent tax return held at the IRS. So that's either 2018 or 2019, depending on when you filed. However, the tax credit is against your 2020 income. So what are these thresholds? For married filing joint, the max income is $150,000. For head of household filers, the max income is $112,500. For every other filer, so single, is $75,000. So if you're over those max thresholds, your payment is going to be reduced by $50 for every $1,000 you're over the limit. So it gets a little bit confusing in there, a little calculation you have to do. So the best guesses out there is that these payments would be coming in a few weeks, maybe early May sometime. So the second most important thing, this is in regards to taking money out of your retirement accounts, 401ks, IRAs. So to be eligible to take money out of these accounts, most people will fall into this category, but they're saying if you have been diagnosed with COVID-19, have a spouse or dependent diagnosed with COVID-19, or if you just experience adverse financial consequences as a result of being quarantined, furloughed, laid off, reduced hours, any of that stuff. If you had to take time off because of lack of childcare, the IRS is being quite liberal in these qualifications. So what you can do is you can take up to $100,000 out of your retirement accounts, and this distribution will be exempt from the 10% penalty if you're under the age of 59 and a half. So that's a big deal. Now, it can be repaid over 3 years, and you have the option, if you take it as income, you can take tax it over 3 years spread evenly. So giving you some leeway there. The third is for more retired clients. They are waiving the required minimum distribution for 2020. So that's also a very big deal. Now, if you've already taken your RMD for 2020, you do have the option of returning it. The fourth is what most people have heard of this, is that student loan payments are being deferred until September 30th of 2020. And during this time, no interest will accrue on those student loans. Granted, if you have an automatic payment set up, they're not just canceling those, so you have to be proactive and do that on your own. The fifth is for unemployment. The government has bumped up the unemployment that people will be receiving, and that is going to be bumped up by $600 a week on top of what your other calculation would be as well. And this will be up to 4 months. So they are extending that by about 13 weeks. And they are also waiving the 1-week waiting period to get that payment. Now, another big deal in this is that self-employed individuals can qualify for unemployment under this act as well. That's a very big deal. So those are my 5 most important things. I'm going to be following up this video with a podcast where I'll go more in depth. That's Personal Finance Matters Podcast. There'll be a link. I'll also do another video on the most important thing small businesses should know. That's the second part of the act. So thanks a lot, guys. Stay safe.